Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. Hope you guys are all doing fantastic out there, and we are talking about something that I really regret as a player not learning sooner. When you're a younger player, it's hard to kind of like have the foresight to see down the road and just be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna use this a lot when I get older, instead of just wanting to be like, I just want to learn licks. And there's nothing wrong with that. So like I said, if you're kind of taking that path too, you know what? I say do whatever is motivating you to play and practice, and hopefully down the road you'll want to learn this kind of stuff. But I want to talk about chord shapes and stuff like that today. And we're going to focus on two main chords, a major chord and then an add 9 chord, and why I think this lesson is so important and just how it has truly helped me as a player. You know, I learned it years into playing, but I wish I kind of would have done it a little bit earlier. But anyways, if you want tabs for these chords and stuff like that that we're going to be talking about, that is linked down below in the description. If you want the flip side of kind of what we're talking about, check out my free guitar course, Fretboard to Chord. That is going to be based a little bit more around scales. And let's just go ahead and get going. Alright, so the first thing that you need to be able to do is, if you are the kind of player who, maybe you just kind of have your standard cowboy chords down and bar chords and stuff like that, which is a hugely great start. Hugely great start. Yep, English, 10 out of 10. But basically, what we're going to do is we're going to focus on triad shapes. I've talked about this a lot in other videos, and we're going to transform these basic major chords into add 9 chords here in a little bit. So first thing you got to know is you really need to know your scale. That way you know exactly what the 9th is. What are we adding? What are we talking about here? So if you don't know your G major scale, you can either play your box pattern. Oh, maybe. Or the way I like to do it is a 3-note per string pattern. Either one is totally fine. I have a lot of reverb on here right now. We're gonna leave it though. So basically, if you want to do it the way I'm doing, I'm going 3-5-7 on the low E string, 3-5-7 on the A, and then 4 on the D. Okay, so that's your root, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, yeah, perfect 4th, all that kind of stuff. 7th, don't worry about that lingo just yet, but the numbers are important. So just know 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Your major scale is made up of 7 notes, and this is kind of where we all build the base of what we're going to talk about. So knowing the actual names of the notes is really crucial. We don't need to know the chords yet. I mean, technically, if you do know them, you're ahead of the game a little bit, but we just need to know that this is a G note, that's an A note, that's a B, C, D, E, and F sharp. And basically, if we played a G major chord, it's only made up of 3 notes. It's made up of a root, a major third, and a 5th. And we actually play those 3 notes right off the bat, right when we start playing. Boom, you just played a G major chord. You don't even need those other chords. They're just duplicates. So we have a G, a B, and a D. Boom, G majors. If you go through the chord, there's another G, there's another B, there's another E. Okay? So those are the notes that we are working with right now. So we are going to find different triad inversions, and a triad is just simply 3 notes. So we're going to go like this for the first one. So that's root, 3rd, and then 5th. That'd be our root, our 3rd note, 1, 2, 3. There's our B, and then our 5th note, right there, D. So root, 3rd, 5th. So basically, if you did that by itself, you are arpeggiating a G major chord. Arpeggiating just means you're playing the notes of the chord separately. So there's a whole plethora of things you can do with that. All over the place. But anyways, that's not what we're talking about. So we have that one. Now, this is the first thing that I wish that I learned sooner, because I didn't know that this was even possible. I thought that when you had chords, they always had to be in the same order, as in root, 3rd, 5th, when I first started learning this stuff. And that's not true at all. This is where we get into different inversions. You can actually start with the 5th, you can start with the 3rd, you can start with the root. Doesn't matter. They can be in any order. It equals the same. You're just going to end up with different, essentially like voicings of these chords. So we have that one right there. Now we're only going to focus on a couple of them. There's tons you can do. The next one's going to be right here, 7 on the A string, or 7 on the low E string. So now we're starting on our major 3rd. Then you're going to go 5 on the D and G. Oh, sorry, A and D. So we went 3rd, 5th, root. Shifting up again. We're going to go, 10th on the low E string, 10 on the A, and then 9 on the D. Started on our fifth that time, went to our root, went to our third. And we'll do one more. This is just an octave from where we started. 15, 14, 12, root, third, fifth. Okay, so we have, get to where you can comfortably just go through all those. As I play it wrong. Now the next one we're gonna do is we're gonna focus on the D, G, and B together. Like I said, there are tons of combinations that you can do here, but we're just gonna focus on a few. So if we're just doing the D, G, and B, then actually just playing them all open is a G major chord. We're starting on our fifth, there's our root, and there is our good old major third. Okay? So the next one's gonna be this like F chord shape. If you're familiar with the cage system, you might know these. I've never learned the cage system myself, but I hear people reference it all the time. So you're gonna go 5 on the D, 4 on the G, and 3 on the B. Okay? Now we shift up. Now this one's gonna go 9 on the D, 7 on the G, and 8 on the B. Okay, now again, it's not really nice to be aware of what we're playing. Started on our fifth, this time we started on our root, this time we're starting on our third. Now the next one we're gonna do is right here, you're just gonna go 12 on the D, G, and B. Okay? So those are all the triad inversions that we're gonna focus on today. Now go through, make sure you learn those, get to where you can play them comfortably. And the more aware you are of the notes you're playing with those, the easier and the more fundamentally sound you're gonna be with a lot of this stuff. Oh, that's an A chord, that's a G. So we have all of those now. Okay, so we did all those things. Now, what I want to talk about is we're going to add a note to this. So this is how you can really expand off this, very basic major idea. So we took this one, and I wanted to make it sound different. There's a lot of different options for us here, and the more you know about your scale and stuff like that, the easier it is to substitute notes or chord structures and stuff like that. Because I could easily change this to G sus4, G sus2, G add 9, which is what we're going to be doing. Now, what does that mean exactly? Well, I'm adding the ninth to my chords. Now, if you heard me before, I originally said there were only 7 notes in the scale. So it's like, well, how is there a ninth? Well, the ninth is just, it's starting over again. So after 7, all of your notes repeat themselves in a higher octave, essentially. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we're adding essentially an A note. Now I don't really view it as, I'm not thinking ninth. I'm like, oh, a ninth is the same as a second. It makes it easier because I know those original 7 notes really well. So if I'm thinking of adding a ninth, I'm adding an A note, which is also my second. That's just the way it works in my brain. But here's what's really cool, because like I said, now we get to focus on adding these A notes. And this is just really helps you understand where your notes are. It helps you learn notes on the fingerboard and stuff like that. So let's do this to each chord and see what we can kind of come up with. Now you can either arpeggiate them or make them actually like chordal. But if I was to do this first one, I would go like this. And already we have a very nice sounding chord. So I'm playing 3, 2, open, but 2 on the G now. That's my A note. And notice how I had to change my actual fingering on the chord. Okay? So if we shift it up to the next one, and it's all about me, like, what makes the most sense? How do I get to the A note from this shape? And to me, this one, I'm like, well, I could stretch, I could go down here if I wanted to, but for now, I'm just gonna go like this. Like that. And that could already be like a riff, you know? I just love the way 9 chords sound. Okay, so there's our A note right there. I did the same shape, but I'm hammering on from that G up to my A. Next one right here. It's like, okay, so how do I get through this one? And I'm like, well, I have an A note right here. If I wanted to play it there, I could. Okay. I could add it there. I could add it here if I wanted to do kind of like a different chord shape. There's lots of A's. It just helps you really like know where notes are on the neck. So I would honestly probably go with this one and do some kind of like hammer-on idea, like that again. So I'm gonna go 10, 10, 7, 9. So 5th, root, 9, 3rd. And again, because the order doesn't matter. So we move up one more time to this one, which we already have kind of discussed. So you just kind of figure out what fingering is going to work for this one now. And this one is actually pretty tricky. I don't even know. I'd probably have to arpeggiate. Okay, just like that. Let me see. Yeah, you could do it like this, I guess. That's a funky fingering. I've never played it up here before. I'm doing it first, right here. So I would need to work on that. Now the next one's down here. So if we started with this, open D, G, B, and then we go to, I don't know, 5 on the high string. There's an A note. Okay, this is really just building a more interesting sound. It's like adding color to the tone. Okay, shifting up to this one. Well, I could add the same A note right there. Now, this is actually one of my favorite add 9 chords to play because it's easy to move this around. Because if you notice, we started on our root note right here. So I'm going 5, 4, 3, 5 on the high string. So we're starting on our root. So wherever I move this, whatever that ring finger note is, that's the root of the chord. Okay? It has a really, really nice sound to it. Okay? So from there, our next shape was all the way up here at this one. And each one, to me, makes me think of different possibilities. Like, how would I use this? So for this one, you know, maybe something like that, where you're hammering on here. So you're gonna go 7 to 9, and then 7, 8. But to me, I'm actually thinking more of this A note that's right here. So I might go like. I don't know, to me, that's where my mind kind of goes with that one. And then this one, of course, is just going to repeat itself up here, which is the same as that one. You could reach up if you want a really large interval, something like that. There you go. Lots of possibilities. Again, there's that A note right there. Maybe something like that, you know, or there's your D note. You could actually substitute that D for right here, and I'd maybe. Boom. So that's technically outlining that chord. It just you just never run out of possibilities. And this is where along the way I've discovered Eric Johnson, and he really opened up a lot in my mind about chords because of the whole thing. You've heard, you know, I do it all the time. Those little like chords that he's doing there, he's just doing the same thing that we just did. He's doing triad. So like if we wanted to do a G major Eric Johnson style, we would just do that. Because all he's doing is playing his root, his fifth, and then that's his third. But there's that big interval between the notes. And this is what, like I said, was really eye-opening for me. I was like, oh, they don't have to be right next to each other. The notes, the intervals can be there. They're bigger. It's you know, it's what I always liked. I love the bigger stretches on the guitar neck and stuff like that. But suddenly I was like thinking out of the box of all these different things. I'm like, oh, I can do this with it or this. And then the challenge was find a note to start with. So start with the G note right here. Okay? And I'm like, all right, well, the standard way is going to be this and this. How can I mix that up? And I'd be like, okay, so what if I went like this? Boom. There's my root. There's my third. There's my fifth. Look, but listen how far apart the notes are. You know? Or maybe I would do something, I wanted to go like this, you know? Technically, I'm playing a G major. Okay? Maybe I add that note to make it an add 9. You know, you never know what kind of voicing you're going to need. So I think we'll probably end it with that right there. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Like I said, to me, that was just something I really regret not learning that kind of stuff earlier, because I feel like I would know so much more now, and it's what I really spend a lot of time working on nowadays. So other than that, if you, like I said, get the tabs down below. I'm going to bounce on out here. I'm going to keep on practicing. And, yo, have a good rest of your day. Whoop!